Hello friends, this is Nigam Shah from National Action Committee, NAC, and jointly with TAG, Tax Advocate Association of Gujarat and Gujarat Tax Bar Association. On behalf of all others association, I am welcoming all participants. Our today's speaker is Mr. D.K. Gandhi. He is going to teach us on the subject of e-way bill provisions under section 129 and 130, read with rule 138. Before starting our discussion, I am requesting President of Mr. Manish Joshi, who is President of TAG, to opening this function. Please, sir. Manish ji.
Good evening, all of you. DK Gandhi, sir, welcome to sir. Hello.
Thank you.
Sir, अभी okay, sir, मैं all association और NSC के all members, president, past president, सबकी तरफ से आपको धन्यवाद देता हूँ. वेलकम सर. आपने जो आप टॉपिक जो लिया है, जो ई-वे बिल का, वो बहुत अभी बर्निंग इश्यू है सबके लिए. और जितना भी आप हमको गाइड करेंगे, हमको बहुत अच्छी तरह अच्छी तरह से हमको फीडबैक मिलेगा उसका. थैंक यू सर. आप चालू रखिए अपना प्रोग्राम सर.
Thank you, Manish ji. Now I am requesting Gandhi sir to start with your subject. Once again, before this, Gandhi sir is a very senior advocate situated in Uttar Pradesh. So I hope we will get more and more information from him. D.K. Gandhi sir, now floor is yours. Please continue, sir.
Good evening, all. I hope you are hearing me well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. I am really thankful to Nigam Shah and Dr. Akshat also for giving me a chance to speak to all of you after Indore. Friends, the topic which has been assigned to me, to be very honest, I have not prepared any kind of a PowerPoint presentation, but I would like to take up the rules as well as sections, but I will not be reading them. When it is required, then definitely I will be seeking your help, because before I start, what I feel, the gathering which I am having, they all are masters of their own field. They are well versed with the law. They are well versed with the rules of the CGST Act, especially pertaining to the e-way bill, because daily, practically, we are facing with it. So friends, first of all, what I want to say today, yes, my submission to all of you is, I think all people are well conversant why this e-way bill have been brought into the act by the government of India. And what is more important, that all rules, all circulars have been framed by the central excise people, rather central GST people, and in 99% cases across the state, it has been implemented by the state authorities. So what is more important, the mindset of both the authority seems to be a little bit different in as far as implementation of e-way provision, but the goal of both the authorities is one. And while going through the all e-way bills, you all are well aware when these have come into force. These have come into full force in 1st of April 2018. Earlier, states were having their own e-way bills, and we were having own difficulties, especially in the state of Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and all other states also. But when this uniform e-way bill have come into force, that has also led into so much difficulties. But before I take you this e-way bill, and I just want to share my thoughts also. People all must be remembering in 1991 there were huge economic reforms by P.V. Narasimha Rao, and before that, if you remember, all industrial unit were supposed to remove the goods only a gate pass was issued by the inspector of excise, and that rule was taken away by implementation of removal of gate pass, and only on the strength of excise invoice it was allowed. But now after passing of so many years, again, the government has come with this idea of e-way. The purpose of e-way is to control the movement of the goods of the dealers and just to check whether the tax taken on the invoice is coming into the government treasury or not. However, this is something history part. Friends, the powers which are having these rules have been given. Rule 138 is very, very important. I hope all are well aware what Rule 138 says. Rule 138 says that every person, originally it was every person, then they brought an amendment, it became a taxable person, and now every registered person is required to generate an e-way bill when he causes the movement of goods. It is very important fact that it is causing the movement of goods, not when you are supplying the goods. And in coming to that part, e-way bill is to be generated when goods are moving from one place to another. And there are the exemptions which have been granted by the government, and a specific schedule has been given that this e-way bill shall not be applicable on this. A long schedule has been given, a list of exempted item has been given, and all other items have also been given in the schedule. I do not think we have to pass through those provisions just before this gathering. What is more important, that we need to understand why it is required and how it is to be used, in the sense this is not required for a job worker. This is a very special thing that Rule 138 one says, that is a third proviso, e-way bill is mandatory in case of job work. It makes mandatory in the case of job work in each of the transaction, but that is restricted to the interstate movement, not the movement of job work within a variable state. So this we have to keep in mind. Normally people are using for job work, even if the value of goods for which job work is going below 50,000, they are using in the state also, which should not happen. We have to keep in mind that this facility is a compulsion for the interstate movement for the transaction for job work. And secondly, well, when we go this rule, when we pass through this rule, what we have to do, that is something very important. That is important. That is important, that how we are going to have this when the goods are passing and there is some discrepancy and there is some violation, how the inspection is to be done, how the inspection and verification of documents of conveyance is to be done. That is Rule 138B. Then there is Rule 138C, where inspection and verification of goods is there. But in Rule 138C, specific bar is given that no physical verification of goods in transit if it is made once in transit. That means to say, once a goods have been checked, that cannot be checked again. Although when you go into the detail, they are going to say that once, if there is a specific information about tax evasion, it can be checked again also. This is something very important we have to keep in mind, that how this information can be used against a conveyance of goods while in movement. And then they have laid down the procedure of EW1, EWB, that is part B normally, which a transporter has to fill when the goods are moving, unloading. Then EWB3 is there, when this particular officer who has detained the goods is duty bound to upload on the portal, whether they are doing it or rightfully or not. And within 3 days, they have to take the physical verification report on the portal itself, that is on the form EWB4. And first of all, this very interesting part, in that particular rule, a specific thing has been mentioned, which I request Mr. Nigam to note it down for sending a representation. They have given some two-liner that if within 30 minutes of the detention of the vehicle or conveyance, officer does not take any action, then transporter may bring this fact on the website. I am unable to understand that how a transporter can do this. A illiterate driver or less educated driver Can he go to the website? Can he lodge a complaint? Whether this particular proviso is practical or is of helping nature or is mere a given liner to show to the public that government is concerned about it. Now coming to Rule 138E also, that is also applicability. So these are the bare provisions. I think everybody is quite aware about these provisions. Everybody has read. And then if we just stop ourselves on Rule 138.14 also, that gives a power to the state commissioners to just to check up whether they can do away with the facility of e-way bill within the state if the goods are moving within the state. So that power is well within the state, and most of the states have exercised also, like Punjab have exercised, other states have also exercised, UP somehow exercised but then withdrew it. So therefore that power is with the state. So these are the provision. Before I take into that, I just want to draw your kind of attention towards the circulars which have been issued on the e-way bills. That is circular, very important circular is number 1. Before these e-way bill came into force on March 18 and were made effective from April 18, there was a circular about how this will function. But before that circular, there was a circular, a press release, basically. That was a press release about the method of usage of e-way bill in the case of the transaction of bill to ship. So basically, how this transaction are to be done, that was to be issued by the Government of India, that particularly transaction e-way bill can be issued. And then after that, another circular came. Oh, sorry, before this, one important circular that I would like to highlight, that is circular number 10 of 18 October 2017, which is a very good circular. And although practical people who were dealing with the check post area in all the state, they were well aware, but excise people were not aware about that. Just to overcome that, this circular has been issued when the goods were going for goods on approval, or a salesman was taking all the goods for selling. So that particular circular was issued, which was very clear, and that says, I'm reading few lines, that says, the goods sent on approval through delivery challan are the correct procedure. Although it is a laid down in the procedure, although it's a covered with the Rule 55, but again they got to went to clear it, which allows correct procedure as required by Rule 55.3, which allows movement of goods without supply, and Rule 55 allows to move goods meant for supply on delivery challan. And this circular is sure good, and they want to say that person who is taking the goods along with delivery challan, he can take the invoice book with himself and can issue the invoice when the sale is completed. This was very important circular, but that was issued in October 2017. But I thought it important to bring it before all of you. And then came the circular number 3, that circular number 41, dated 13th April 2018. That is the main circular on which all the state authorities have come into action. This circular lays down the procedure for issuance of Move 1 to Move 9. But what I want to submit about this particular circular, because this circular is the foundation stone for all the proceedings taken in detention and seizure of the conveyance and the goods, because we have to check whether this circular is a valid one. Board has got the power under section 1681, where board can issue, what board can issue? Board can issue directions. Board can issue directions, board can issue circular on the some confusions. But here, all procedure has been laid down like this. What 168.1 says, according to my understanding, this circular is violative of the law. 168.1 gives power to the board. What does it say? The board may, if it consider it necessary to expedite to so. What board can do, in 2 lines they are saying, it may deem and thereupon all such officers, and follow such orders, instructions or directions. So 3 words have been used in this section, that board can issue orders, instructions or directions. and board is not empowered to lay down any procedure, and the procedure can be laid down through rules in order to implement the law through section. So according to my understanding, this circular itself is not a valid piece of law. While all the seizure, while all the detention have been taken place on the strength of this circular, and I hope sometime somebody like one of us may challenge this circular and challenge the validity of the law on which this is based. And particularly after this circular, another circular came. That circular is number 49, dated 21st of June. Then this circular was nothing but just strengthening the proviso of Rule 138C2 that was saying that goods once checked will not be checked again. But again, when they said it in the circular, very important thing, circular says that goods once checked not to be rechecked in view of the light of Rule 138C2, and clarifies. What clarifies, that is very important in the circular. In last para they say only such goods or conveyance should be detained, confiscated, in respect of which there is a violation. Now we have to understand what is the violation. Whether violation is a contravention, whether violation is some technical mistake in the paper, whether overwriting or omission of some words amounts to the violation or not, that question we have to take up when the cases comes. So this is a circular number. And again one circular came, and that circular is 61 number, dated 4th of September 2018. And that lays down the procedure that whether you can store the goods into the godown of the transporter or not. That allows you to store the goods in the godown of the transporter, which we all have been doing, which we have been advising our clients, and transporter was using. Dealers were using the godown of the transporter for transshipment and for changing the material, or for even keeping the goods also as a storage. But now they have gone to say in this particular circular, if you want to avail that particular thing, then you are required under the law to disclose the transporters godown as your additional place of business. This is something we have to keep in mind, whether we are able to do it or not, whether we should do it or not. That is very important thing. But I think we should follow this. If we are not doing this, then authority can draw the inferences according to their own understanding. And then after that last circular, circular number 64, which is latest one, that is of 14 September 2018, which tells that what kind of a mistake should be taken as a mistake. I think 5 examples have been given by the circular, and it has been left to the wisdom of the authority. So what mistake? So this circular, although seems to be of very helpful nature, but it is a very, very limited one. It doesn't give anything to the dealer. Rather, it limits the scope. Only 2-3 mistakes which were taken away which were allowed to be in bona fide interest by the various high courts. Those particular things have been taken into consideration and nothing else. And friends, after this circular, 5 to 6 case law I have sorted out. One case law is very important, that is of our authorities of Rajasthan, that is Sanjog Steel Private Limited. In this particular case, assessee went to the R authority just to get an opinion on the point of bill to shipment is possible, whether 2 e-way are to be generated when goods are moving from first party to third party on the instruction of second party. So they have gone to say, yes, only 1 e-way bill is required. This point is very clear, although it was all clear to the practical people who have been handling. But in most of the transaction, when this kind of happening, practically people are generating 2 e-way bills. Everybody is generating twice or thrice. So this is not the correct position. And this particularly ruling also, they have gone to rely upon the press release, which earlier I cited, dated 23rd of April 2018. And friends, after this, most of the cases that came to Allahabad High Court, and I would like to bring to your kind knowledge, you won't believe under GST regime, as far as my information goes, in the 2 years, at least 1,500 writ petitions were filed in Allahabad High Court, which is a history. Rather, these writ petitions were not filed in last 8 to 9 years of VAT regime. So that was the kind of problems we are facing with the e-way problem or detention and seizure of vehicles. But coming to this, besides this information, excuse me, on account of non-filling of Part B of e-way, Allahabad High Court has gone to say in the case of VSL Alloys Private Limited that if Part B is not filled and there is a adequate explanation, then goods should not be detained and seizure was quashed. But this particular case was cited before Madhya Pradesh High Court in the case of Gati. Madhya Pradesh High Court just declined to rely upon the judgment of VSL Alloys and said, no, we are not going to accept this judgment, and went to distinguish, and it went against the assessee. You just imagine, and the principle of bona fide mistake has been held in case of Rajawat Steel by the Allahabad High Court, which says in cases of Part B, authority is duty bound to record a finding that mistake was bona fide or not. This fact has been ignored by Madhya Pradesh High Court in the case of Gati. So we have to bear with both the rulings, how it has to be used while practical part comes. So my friends, this is second one. And third case is of Madras High Court, and that is S. Murugan versus Government of India. That is also case of 2019, delivered by Justice Anita Suman. Specifically, very small judgment, but very specific. High Court judge gone to say, although we are not inclined to go on the writ petition, but we are going to allow it just because there was a 2-word difference in the vehicle number. And when there was a small difference in vehicle number, High Court has gone to grant a relief to the dealer, saying that this kind of a mistake, it was held minor deficiency. So on account of minor deficiency, goods cannot be seized and detained. It has been held by the Madras High Court in the case of S. Murugan versus Government of India. Another very important case is that is pronounced by High Court of Kerala. That is Rai Pre-Exin India Private Limited versus State of Kerala. That is also of 2019. But that I would like to read to you a specific part. High Court has gone to say genuine human errors in e-way bill cannot result in penalty. And what more they have gone, what they say, if a human error which can be seen on naked eye is detected, such human errors cannot be capitalized for penalization. Further, court said it is found that the petitioner had paid the IGST in accordance with the value shown in invoice. The vehicle and goods shall be released on simple bond. So that has been the view of the ranging from Madras High Court, Allahabad High Court, Kerala High Court. And then coming to bringing you people attention to the section 130, and that is pertaining to confiscation. And here comes to the Gujarat High Court. Gujarat High Court in 2 specific cases. This one is Synergy Fertichem Private Limited versus State, and another case is Global Knitfab versus State of Gujarat. That case is of 2020 itself. So many cases in Gujarat, state authorities have gone directly to confiscate the goods. And what the High Court has said, authorities may not be justified in straight away issue a notice under section 130 of CGST. Role of section 130 is what they say, action must be held in good faith and should not be a mere pretense. And they have relied upon the Supreme Court judgment of Shivnaz Singh, AIR 1974, where reasonable belief, a specific faith, a bona fide action, how you can take, this has been dealt with, and particularly 129 and section 130, Gujarat High Court has gone further to deal it with, and they have passed on the direction to the government just to look into it, how these provisions are to be applied. Straight away 130 cannot be applied. That is the essence of the judgment, both the judgments. And one more important thing, although minor defects in e-way bill contravention has been taken, the one important part is whether undervaluation, on the strength of undervaluation, a seizure or detention can take place. So again, this has been decided by Chhattisgarh High Court in the case of KP Sugandh Limited. So where they have categorically said, if the goods are in accordance with the invoice or e-way bill, you cannot detain the goods and seize the goods on the ground of undervaluation. And not lagging behind, there is a Patna High Court also. That is a case of Ram Shankar Prasad versus State of Bihar. In this very interesting case, although it relates to the Bihar rules, wherein Part B, filling of Part B, there was allowed by Bihar government whether extension of time. So when this extension of time was granted and the goods were detained, in the authority has taken, assessee has taken the time and regenerated the e-way bill. And that particular fact was recorded by the deputy commissioner who was taking up the this case. He recorded a finding that another e-way has been generated. That was for extension of time. Then Patna High Court took the view, when you yourself are recording that e-way has been generated and there is no doubt about it, so only on the point of expiry of this e-way, you cannot detain the goods, you cannot seize the goods, and once the tax is paid, that is reflected in the invoice. So goods were again held, were released without any penalty and security. And friends, last one, that is very, very important case, that is the latest one. That last case is decision of Telangana High Court dated 4th of March. Case has been decided on 4th of March. In this very interesting case, what happened? Goods were coming from Karnataka to Telangana. It was interstate movement, and in the Telangana state, goods were detained, and on the ground was taken as a wrong destination. Authority assumed that CGST and SGST was evaded and goods were to be loaded in the state. So therefore, it was not interstate movement, and they seized the goods. Proprietor of the firm on 12th of December was having a marriage in his family, so therefore he was not available, and driver was not ready to stop his vehicle. So authorities compelled the driver, and driver compelled the dealer, and the amount was deposited. Interesting part is that when assessee came, he filed a writ petition before Telangana High Court, and Telangana High Court has gone to deal with it. That is very interesting. They allowed the refund of the penalty got deposited. That lines are very important. Under threat, as the vehicle driver has lost the way and transaction was IGST. So therefore, and why they did it? What was held? They held that wrong destination is no ground for detention, and held that detention was clearly violative of Article 14, 265 and 300A of Constitution of India. And not only this, cost of 25,000 was imposed on the respondent number. First, he was sales tax officer. And while doing so, they did it on the strength of the decision of Supreme Court. That is a very interesting case, relying upon the Dabur India Limited versus State of Uttar Pradesh. That is long back 1990, SCC, Volume 4, page 113. They say, it is settled law that no tax shall be levied or collected except by authority of law as per Article 265 of the Constitution of India. A litigant cannot be caused by the government to make payment of duties which the litigant is considering not to be leviable. The state is entitled to enforce payment and to take all legal steps. It cannot be permitted to play dirty games with the citizens, to coerce them in making payments when the citizens were not obliged to make them. And if money is due to the government, it should not take extra legal steps to recover it. So my dear friends, this case law, I also got it when I was making little bit searching. So this is a very interesting case, that is of Supreme Court case. There's a landmark, and we have to keep in mind, this is a 2020. This is Telangana High Court, Commercial Steel Company versus State. This is writ number 2161 of 2020. So we have to keep this kind of case law in our hand whenever required. And friends, before I say something, I just want to share some other practical part also. If you permit me, I can share with you. So I will be taking that particular part or closing part in my deliberations in question answer. Thank you, Mr. Nigam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. During your discussion, I had observed that you have dealt with total 3 sections, 1 rule with only 10 circulars, nine judgments and one article of India. It is very detailed discussion by you. Now, one by one, I am requesting all members, if there is any question, please raise your hand. First hand was raised by Mr. Navneet Arora. Mr. Navneet ji, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm
Please
listening to
continue.
you.
Please
Are you
continue.
listening? Are you listening?
Yes, please continue.
Yeah, please. Sir, my question is this: that I have issued a tax invoice, and the payment is also received in my account, but I forgot to issue e-way bill. What is the adverse effect of this transaction?
Pardon? Repeat the question.
Yeah, sure. Sir, I issued a tax invoice,
Okay.
received the payment in my account,
Right.
but I forgot to issue e-way bill. Is there any kind of adverse effect of this transaction?
Goods have reached it to its destination.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Yes, sir.
There is no problem. There was no detention in the
Adverse.
way.
Okay.
If
Right, sir.
there
Thank
was
you.
no detention and goods have reached, there is no problem as such.
Oh, right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you.
There is no
Thank you.
problem at all.
Right, sir. Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now our another guest member is Mr. Rupendra Kansal from Punjab. Mr. Kansal, are you there?
Hanji, good
Please.
evening, ji.
Good evening.
Mr. Gandhi, your UP is very far ahead in detaining big vehicles,
Yes.
and that's why there are 1,500 cases in the Allahabad High Court, and one of my cases is also pending before Allahabad High Court.
Okay. Okay.
Sassi, my query is regarding the clerical mistakes happened during the initial stages. Suppose the bill was made on 2nd of December, and the vehicle has to start on 3rd of December, and by the mistake of the accountant in the e-way bill, the bill date was by mistake put as 3rd of December instead of 2nd of December, and the goods were detained at Shamli.
Okay.
And by the time it came to our knowledge, because we are sitting in another state, the goods were detained, not let off by the detaining officer, and ultimately we have to approach to the Allahabad High Court, and we got immediately of 50% deposit of tax and 50% deposit of penalty. What do we do? We should do when we are sitting in another states very far away, and to stop this menace, the assessee should not suffer.
Kansal, what you can do in whose account this money was deposited, whether he was a registered dealer of Uttar Pradesh or was a registered dealer of Punjab.
Punjab.
Okay, so you can approach to that particular authority.
Okay.
Where you deposited the money, you can approach to him that pass an order where you can file an appeal now if the goods have been released, right?
I can approach to my state authority.
No, not to state authorities. Where the amount was deposited.
Okay.
First of all, you let me know whether it is pending or it has been disposed of.
It has been pending, and
So
Mr. Pranjal Shukla is looking after the appeal.
That's the young chap, I know. The point is something different, because in the light of the Supreme Court judgment, all the writ petitions pending in the Allahabad High Court are going to be dismissed. If you are aware about dismissed on account of alternative remedy, they are not going to deal it, because Supreme Court has gone to say in the case that the proceedings which were taken, that were closed, although that particular Supreme Court case is under review before Supreme Court also. But you have to wait. You ask your Allahabad lawyer either to get it decided or get it disposed of. So in case it is disposed of, you can approach to the authority at Shamli. Okay. Then he will be passing an order, and then there is a procedure of appeal, and I am 100% sure you are going to win this appeal.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
There is no doubt about it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Right.
Next is Mr. Rakesh. Mr. Rakesh, are you there?
Yes.
Please
Good evening.
continue.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Gandhiji.
Good evening, ji. Good evening.
In continuation with the earlier question, even if the goods have been reached its destination, the assessing officer, I think, can impose the classification 1.
Which assessing officer you are talking about?
reached its destination.
I'm hearing you. Kindly raise question properly.
हाँ जी, मैं दूसरा क्वेश्चन रेज कर रहा हूँ.
जी.
In the absence of the e-way bill,
Yes.
under which of the section penalty can be imposed, whether under section 129 or section 122 clause 14?
Proceedings have been initiated under section 129.
Yes, sir.
Money has been deposited.
हाँ जी.
So first of all, these proceedings under 129 are to be completed. 122 is another section. He can very well take that action. He can release the goods in 129 and he can impose penalty in 122. And that is what we have been pursuing the authority, that you should not, you should charge only penalty under 122. Okay.
Yes.
Not under 129, but they are going to do it under 129 only right now.
Okay, it means they are imposing the penalty under section 129, whereas we are contesting it that it should be under section 122.
Yes, according to my understanding, it should be under 122 only, because those are summary proceedings.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Authorities are not yet convinced on that issue.
Sir, before going to the question, Gandhi ji pranam.
Yes, namaskar ji, hukum.
नमस्कार सर. सभी बुजुर्ग लोगों को प्रणाम. मैं आपको एक इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करना चाहता हूँ.
बताइए.
अदर देन द ई-वे बिल मैटर, हमारा जामनगर वैसे छोटा कस्बा है. हमारा जो जामनगर में एसोसिएशन है वो भी बहुत छोटा है. अराउंड 200 मेंबर्स आर देयर, बट we have represented again to our collector, district collector, कि हमारे लोगों की ऑफिस जितनी बंद रहती है लॉकडाउन में, डीलर्स को कितना नुकसान हो रहा है. ई-वे बिल is one of the reason, and collector in the yesterday meeting, collector has given us the permission, and from 20th all the members of my association, which is I am the president of the association, will be allowed to open their office with the limited access of staff and with the guideline of the honorable central government. So if you are not in the red zone, it is related to the lockdown. अगर आप रेड जोन में नहीं आते हैं तो आप डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर को आप कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं. आप उनको रिप्रेजेंटेशन जो यहाँ पे वो रिप्रेजेंटेशन के हिसाब से मैं आपके साथ भी शेयर करूंगा. तो वो रिप्रेजेंटेशन के हिसाब से अगर आप लोग यहाँ पे लोकली कलेक्टर साहब को अगर परस्यू करते हैं तो वो शायद आप लोगों को परमिशन देंगे. दैट इज फॉर श्योर. एंड आपको सुई उठाने के लिए बड़ी तोप इस्तेमाल करने की जरूरत नहीं है. आप चाहे मिनिस्टर्स को लिखते हैं या चीफ मिनिस्टर को लिखते हैं तो उससे कुछ फायदा नहीं होगा, क्योंकि द ऑल पावर रिटेन विद द collector, district collector as per the central government guideline. So this is just I'm sharing the something which is more important to retain our profession. आप लोग सब लोग अपनी ऑफिस 20 तारीख से अगर चालू करते हैं, क्योंकि अभी मुझे कलेक्टर ऑफिस से फोन भी आया है कि मैं अपनी जो हमारे एसोसिएशन के पासिस बनाने के लिए, हमारे एसोसिएशन के मेंबर्स का लिस्ट देने के लिए और हमारे एसोसिएशन के जो भी डिटेल्स है वो देने के लिए मुझे बुलाया गया है. तो मैं शायद आप लोगों के बीच में से जल्दी निकल जाऊं, मगर आप सब लोगों को मैं विनती करता हूं, मैं जो प्रेजेंटेशन शेयर करता हूं, इफ यू आर नॉट इन रेड जोन, if you are in orange zone or if you are in the green zone, so please submit the request, pursue your local authority that they will permit you for opening of your offices, and you may also go ahead with your businesses. Real best of luck, sir. तो ये information it is not related to e-way, but मेरे पास टाइम कम है, मुझे भागना पड़ेगा अभी कलेक्टर डीएम ऑफिस पे, तो मैंने बीच में से ये बात चालू की. आई एम सॉरी for breaking up the whole tune of the Gandhi ji. Gandhi ji, you are excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
you,
sir. Nigam ji, shall I leave?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, sir, please send this proposal which is made by you to the respective
Yes,
authorities.
I'll
You can
share it
share
with
to
the
our
state officials. I will share it with the state official. जहाँ जहाँ पे भी मीटिंग है वहाँ पे, क्योंकि हमारी ऑफिस पे तो कोई we all are I think educated people, तो हमारे ऑफिस पे distancing का क्या प्रॉब्लम होगा.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now, can I start?
तो
Unfortunately, I was logged out. Hello,
Yes, yes.
please, sir. I am requesting Mr. Bhavya Popat. Mr. Bhavya,
यस सर.
please continue.
गांधी साहब, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जब हम अपील्स करते हैं, कोई भी अगर जुरिस्डिक्शनल ऑर्डर्स आते हैं हमें, तो अगर ये वो आईजीएसटी का ट्रांजैक्शन है, तो जिस स्टेट में वो ऑर्डर होता है वहीं पे अपील करना जरूरी रहता है, या उसके रिगार्डिंग हमें कोई जजमेंट का बेनिफिट मिल सकता है?
बेसिकली जो आईजीएसटी है के अंदर जो ऑर्डर है उसमें सीजीएसटी के और प्रोविजन जो है वो अप्लाई हो रहे हैं. द अथॉरिटी हु हैज पास द ऑर्डर, ओके, so we have to go by the order of the authority, which authority has passed, and against the authority where the appeal lies we have to file that appeal.
ओके सर. और उसमें सर कोई हमें जजमेंट या कोई भी हमें रिप्रेजेंटेशन करना आपको जरूरी लगता है? क्योंकि सर ये सबकी दिक्कत है. अगर मेरा माल जा रहा है उत्तर प्रदेश, गुजरात से, इसमें बहुत सारे स्टेट्स आते हैं, अगर कहीं भी इश्यू विद दैट particular officer and we have to file appeal over that.
उसी that is the major difficulty we all are facing all over the state, and all the money has been stuck up because of non filing of appeals. People have left it also.
But no practical solution right now, no sir?
Right? No.
Thank you sir.
Thank you, Bhavya bhai. Now, Mr. Anil Vajpayee.
Yes, sir.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपके आजू बाजू से आवाज ज्यादा आ रहा है, तो थोड़ा माइक्रोफोन सेट कीजिएगा. यू कैन रेज योर क्वेश्चन, प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Sir, good evening.
Good evening. बताएं.
सर, एक प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम है. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि कोई व्यापारी शॉप पे किसी के जाता है और वो 50,000 के ऊपर माल को परचेज करता है. माल परचेज करने के बाद उसको हम होम डिलीवरी, वो मतलब शॉप पे डिलीवरी दे देते हैं, और ऐसे समय में वो बस से या ट्रेन से माल लेकर के जाता है, तो हम पार्ट बी तो उसका इशू कर देते हैं, लेकिन इशू कर देते हैं, लेकिन पार्ट बी जब हम इशू करने की बारी आती है, उस समय मेरे ना तो बस का नंबर पता होता है किस बस से जा रहा है या ट्रेन से जाएगा, ऐसी स्थिति में कोई जानकारी नहीं होती है. तो पार्ट ए इशू करके दे रहे, लेकिन पार्ट बी के लिए क्या किया जाए सर? ये बहुत प्रॉब्लम आ रही है इस समय.
I will send you the specific provision is there when goods are going by the public transport. Okay, there is a proviso. I will send you across. I've just gone through it. I will send you. That will solve your problem. You have to fill part A only, not the part B.
Okay.
सर,
ऐसी स्थिति में माल कहीं रोका जाता है कुछ, तो उसमें जो सेलर है
उसमें पार्ट बी में आपको हाथ से जो माल लेके जाएगा, सपोज आई केम टू योर शॉप and took the material of 60,000 and went into the roadways bus, then in which bus I am riding, I have to write that bus number in that part B myself. Okay.
तो सर मैं अपनी ईमेल आईडी इसी में डाल दूं या व्हाट्सएप नंबर?
कोई बात नहीं, वो
अनिल जी आप व्हाट्सएप नंबर, ईमेल आईडी कुछ भी डालिए. आई विल कम्युनिकेट टू यू एज वेल एज टू अदर मेंबर्स आल्सो.
Sure, I will.
Please,
thank you sir.
Now next is Mr. Paras Verma. Mr. Paras,
Yes sir.
please continue.
Mr. Gandhi, good evening sir.
Good evening.
There is a query regarding ease of goods. I want to tell a case in which goods are sent from Yamunanagar to Ghaziabad, and vehicle seized in Muradnagar and penalty imposed under section 129 amounted to rupees 2,80,000, which is a tax amount of IGST. And the reason behind that is that there is a 2-digit mistake in a vehicle number and certain overwriting in the date of the manual bill, which is issued by the dealer. Okay, sir. And
Okay.
e-way bill date is correct, which is genuine. So, officer, I have given the contention of cases of Rajawat Steels, which is cited by the Allahabad High Court, and Diamond Metal versus State of UP, in which both cases are relating to the mistake in the vehicle number. But I am I do not have any case regarding to the date overwriting. So, sir, please guide me what to do in this type of case.
Your matter is in appeal.
No, till date I have not filed any appeal against it because this is a case of 1st March 2020.
So first of all, you file appeal. You want a specific case law on the issue, no?
Yes.
Before you take up the case law, state all your facts in the appeal, okay, and at the time of hearing you can submit the relevant case law which may be applicable.
Okay.
Okay.
सर, और इसमें अभी क्या नाम हमें DRC 07 में इशू हुआ, वैसे मूवमेंट के सारे फॉर्म्स अभी उन्होंने इशू कर दिए हमें.
कोई बात नहीं, you may file an appeal against move 9. You have deposited the amount, na?
Yes, we have deposited it.
You have deposited the tax, so therefore you can file appeal within 90 days.
Okay, sir. Yes, we have a time of 90 days.
Okay.
It belongs to your jurisdiction, so I contact you later
Okay.
regarding this matter.
हाँ सर. सर मेरा अपील है ना, अपील वो चल गया है और उसमें मैं जीत भी गया हूँ, तो उसका रिफंड कैसे मिलेगा?
कौन सा एरिया आपका?
गुजरात.
ये जो मेरा ये तो गुजरात है, लेकिन जो गाड़ी पकड़ी थी ना वो मध्य प्रदेश में थी, इंदौर में.
तो
और अपील
मध्य प्रदेश में जो पकड़ा था वहीं का ऑर्डर हुआ था ना?
हाँ, वही का ऑर्डर हो गया, लेकिन अभी रिफंड कैसे मिलेगा?
मनी वाज डिपॉजिटेड इन मध्य प्रदेश.
यस.
तो जिसने ऑफिसर ने गाड़ी रोका था आपको, यू मूव एन एप्लीकेशन टू द जेंटलमैन.
लेकिन नहीं, अभी सर रिफंड है वो ऑनलाइन है. तो क्योंकि जो रजिस्ट्रेशन, जब टेम्पररी रजिस्ट्रेशन दिया था तो वो तो ड्राइवर के नाम का दिया था, और पान नंबर भी ड्राइवर के नाम का ही है. तो फिर रिफंड कंपनी के नाम पे आएगा या ड्राइवर के नाम पे आएगा?
जो अपील का ऑर्डर है वो किसके नाम में है? हु इज अपीलांट?
और ड्राइवर
है ना, सो ड्राइवर उसको अप्लाई करेगा ना.
नहीं, तो रिफंड ड्राइवर के नाम पे आएगा, क्योंकि रिफंड तो ऑनलाइन मिलने वाला है, मैनुअल तो मिलेगा नहीं.
That is very correct. That is only a system of accounting. But the point is, who has won the appeal? Who was aggrieved person? Who has deposited the money? This fact must have been dealt by the appellate authority.
नहीं, अब पैसे तो है वो कंपनी ने भरे थे, क्योंकि उसका एक टेम्पररी आईडी दिया था उन्होंने हमको.
On the strength of temporary ID, you have won the appeal, na?
Yeah.
So the point is, the officer where you have deposited the money, you are duty bound to move an application to that officer, stating those facts that money has gone from your account. Okay. Because it has been definitely been debited from the account of the company. So
yes,
you
sir.
have got that proof that money was. ओके.
नहीं, तो उसका एप्लीकेशन ऑनलाइन होगा या कैसे होगा? अभी तक कोई एप्लीकेशन चालू हो गया?
मेल पे भेज दो उसको, ऑफिसर को.
नहीं, ऐसा कोई चालू हो गया अभी तक के रिफंड मिलना कि नहीं हुआ है?
मिल रहा है.
तो सीधा कंपनी के. ओके. और सर
स्टेट अथॉरिटी इन उत्तर प्रदेश, पीपल आर मूविंग टू द स्टेट अथॉरिटीज वेयर द गुड्स वर इंटरसेप्टेड एंड दे आर अलाउइंग इट.
ओके. और दूसरा क्वेश्चन वो है, आपने बोला था कि जॉब वर्क में इंट्रा स्टेट के लिए जरूरत नहीं है, इंटर स्टेट के लिए ही जरूरत है. तो वो कौन सा, क्या कोई प्रोविजो है कि क्या है?
वो तो रूल में ही है, प्रोविजो है 138C2 थर्ड प्रोविजो है.
हाँ सर.
ओके, थैंक यू सर. गो थ्रू द रूल.
ओके, थैंक यू सर.
Mr. Chirag, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Please raise your question.
Hello. Very good evening, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, my question is that in Section 35, we are required to maintain books of accounts and records. So,
Yes.
while doing GST audit or any kind of due diligence activity, are we also required to check whether the recipient or the supplier has maintained a copy of the e-way bill? Is it a mandatory requirement, sir?
Basically, this is very interesting question. Very interesting question. People, what dealers have been doing, they are not keeping the photocopies of e-way bill.
Very correct,
Right.
sir.
And
Right,
the
sir.
portal is not having any record of e-way bill. Number one. But as far as my understanding goes, e-way has got nothing to do with accounting part. The only difficulty will be coming when department is going to check the amount of business and making a cross checking with the value of e-way bill. Only then. And then we need to supply a reconciliation of that. But that is not mandated by law, because e-way is nothing but a gate pass for movement of goods. That is a regulation only. That is not strictly saying, until and unless there is a specific information that e-way bill has been used for 1 crore and your sale is 10 lakh. So that way we have to bear in mind, if we are not having detail and we are quite sure that value of e-way bill is less than the business done, then there is no doubt about it.
Sir, but इसमें एक
This is
problem
a practical part I am suggesting.
Right, sir. Sir, but इसमें एक
That
problem
is a
ये है
practical solution I am giving you.
सर, बात आपकी
Yes,
करेक्ट है, बट इसमें
under
क्या है सर, पहले जब
rule or
वैट
act
रिजीम
is
था,
not required.
सर जब पहले वैट रिजीम था, वैट रिजीम में जब भी ऑफिसर के पास हम लोग एनुअल स्टेटमेंट्स लेकर के जाते थे या अपील कुछ भी जाते थे, तो वो चालान मांगते थे उसकी, कि आपकी इंटर स्टेट मूवमेंट में जो भी है उसकी कंपलसरी थी. लेकिन यहाँ जीएसटी में ये चीज क्लियरली पता नहीं चल पा रही है.
बेसिकली क्या है, दो चीजें हैं, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दिस इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन फॉर एवरीबॉडी, because state authorities are still out of their mind of the e-way part, which every state was having in their own understanding. They are relying on that part only. But as far as the practical part is saying, rule 138 is saying that he shall generate. When it comes to the maintenance of accounts, nowhere it is specified. So it is nothing to do with the maintenance of accounts, and nowhere from the law it is supported that you have to verify it. But people are so scared, they are so trying to get it. So I do not think that is required by the law. It's only gate pass. So we have to go by that only. We feel very strong about that. It is not supported by rules or the act. Thank you.
Mr. Upendra Kansalji?
Yes, sir. One more query.
Yes, please.
When there is a sale on the counter itself and the amount exceeds 50,000, is there any need to make the e-way bill counter sale?
Who is making the movement of goods?
Buyer is making the movement of goods.
Then not required.
Okay. Irrespective of the conveyance which he is using.
That is his baby, na? I am causing the movement. Who is causing? The registered person is causing the movement. That is the basic line.
If that person is a registered person,
then it is his duty. Then he cannot take away.
okay. You mean to say that when there is a counter sale, the person is a retailer, pure retailer, there is no need. And if he's a registered person, then he has to do the e-way bill. He has to make.
Dealer has to be registered, na?
Okay.
He may be unregistered dealer, then we may call him the even rule says that other person is unregistered, even then you are supposed to issue it. Suppose that seller is unregistered and the buyer is registered, then liability has been given to the buyer also, who is the recipient. So it is not that you can take it away. That what I am saying is in the case of a Mr. Upendra Kansal, who is a lawyer, who is a doctor. So in that particular case, you can take that advantage. But suppose if I am a petty shopkeeper and I am taking that advantage, so that advantage should not be available. That is the idea behind it.
Mr. Prabhat Gupta, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Please continue. Raise your query.
Okay, sir. मेरा सबमिशन केवल इतना सा है, जो गांधी साहब द्वारा रूलिंग्स और सर्कुलर्स बताए गए हैं वो कृपया सभी सदस्यों को शेयर कर दिए जाएं तो बड़ी मेहरबानी होगी।
बिल्कुल, आपके ये चैट बॉक्स में भी मैसेज आया है।
जी
जैसे ये लेक्चर खत्म होगा गांधी साहब से मैं ले लूंगा और जो हमारा कॉमन प्लेटफॉर्म पे मैं वायरल कर लूंगा। नोट एन
थैंक यू सर, सो काइंड ऑफ यू सर।
प्लीज प्लीज प्लीज। मिस्टर टीपी सिंह, 1 मिनट। मिस्टर सिंह आप, हाँ प्लीज कंटिन्यू सर।
हाँ, गुड इवनिंग सर।
गुड इवनिंग
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि मेरा मटेरियल आया थ्रू ट्रांसपोर्टर ऑन ई वे बिल एंड इनवॉइस, तो वो मटेरियल ट्रांसपोर्ट पे ही रह गया और ई वे बिल एक्सपायर हो गया, तो व्हाट इज द पोजीशन इन दैट केस?
माल आ गया,
मटेरियल जो है वो ट्रांसपोर्टर के गोडाउन में ही अभी पड़ा है और ई वे बिल एक्सपायर हो चुका है।
ओके, उसके यहाँ पहुंच गया पहले, एक्सपायरी से पहले?
उसके यहाँ एक्सपायरी से पहले पहुंच गया, लेकिन उसके यहाँ पे ही एक्सपायर हो गया वो ई वे बिल।
नहीं, उसके यहाँ तो ई वे एक्सपायर हो गया ना।
जी जी जी।
सपोज 12 तारीख को तक वो वैलिड था, वो सर्टिफिकेट आपको देता है कि 12 में आ गया था और उसने इंटीमेट आपको 14 को करा, ठीक है?
हाँ जी।
मटेरियल आप आज ला रहे हो, ठीक है?
जी।
तो वहां से दूसरा ई वे इशू करके ले आओ उसी मटेरियल का रेफरेंस देते हुए।
लेकिन सर वो सेकंड इनवॉइस नंबर हम जब डालते हैं तो वो डुप्लीकेट का एरर देता है सर, डुप्लीकेट इनवॉइस का।
उसमें वो इनवॉइस नहीं लोगे ना आप ट्रांसपोर्टर को बोलो कि वो एक आपको चालान इशू करेगा।
ओके,
वो चालान नंबर आप अपने ईवे में डाल लो इनवर्ड में, राइट?
ठीक है सर, ठीक
और
है
उस
सर।
चालान के अंदर वो इनवॉइस की डिटेल देगा, लिखेगा कि ये जो मटेरियल आपका है ये काइंडली पिक कर लें, राइट?
तो क्या ट्रांसपोर्टर चालान इशू कर सकता है सर?
क्यों नहीं कर सकता?
कभी ऐसा देखा नहीं। चलो सर।
अरे ये तो बहुत प्रैक्टिकल बात है, बिल्कुल कर सकता है वो। उसके यहाँ से मुंह में निकलेगा कैसे माल? कोई पीस ऑफ पेपर होगा ना।
वो डिलीवरी रिसीट देते हैं सर अपनी।
डिलीवरी रिसीट का कोई नंबर होगा, वो डाल दो आप,
वो डाल के और ई वे बिल जनरेट कर दें।
चालान।
ठीक ठीक है सर, ठीक है, थैंक यू सर।
कंफर्टेबली करो, उसमें कोई डाउट ही नहीं है।
ठीक है, थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू जी। नेक्स्ट इज मिस्टर संजय अरोरा। मिस्टर संजय जी, आर यू देयर?
Yes, yes.
Please
I
continue.
am very much there. Good evening, everybody. Gandhi Sahab, मेरा question in continuation of a question asked by Mr. Navneet Arora.
जी।
अगर मान लीजिए ई-वे बिल इशू नहीं हुआ और माल पहुंच भी गया,
जी,
माल ठीक ठाक पहुंच गया, तो उसके बाद क्या consequences होंगे? Is there any legal consequences for not issuing the e-way bill?
फॉर नॉट इशूइंग द ई वे बिल केवल एक कंट्रावेंशन ऑफ टैक्स की प्रोविजन की एक पेनल्टी लगा सकता है असेसिंग अथॉरिटी।
ओके,
उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं कर सकता, बिकॉज गुड्स हैव रीच्ड, यू हैव वेरी वेल डिस्क्लोज इन GSTR1। ओके, दोनों ने उसको अपनी बुक्स में इन टाइमली कर दिया और सेल्फ डिस्क्लोजर होगा ये।
हाँ जी, सेल्फ डिस्क्लोजर होगा,
पेमेंट एट ऑल। सो
पेमेंट भी पहुंच गई और सब कुछ हो चुका है।
वो तो GSTR1 में आ गया ना उसके।
हाँ, सेल भी आ गई, बिल्कुल
कोई इशू ही नहीं है उसमें।
अच्छा, तो उसमें वो पेनल्टी क्या जो है प्रोसीडिंग वो स्टार्ट करेगा ही करेगा या उस पर डिस्क्रिप्शन है?
दैट इज हिज डिस्क्रिप्शन।
ओके,
ऑल पेनल्टी इज नेवर ऑटोमेटिक।
यस यस। चलिए, थैंक यू गांधी साहब, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
माय प्लेजर।
थैंक यू सर। नेक्स्ट इज मिस्टर शैलेश महेश्वरिया। मिस्टर शैलेश, आर यू देयर?
हाँ जी, यस सर, गुड इवनिंग सर। हाँ जी सर, मेरा क्लाइंट ने लास्ट वीक में एक गाड़ी वाले ने माल तैयार करके सब तैयार करके ई-वे बिल भी बनाया था, लेकिन गाड़ी टाइम से नहीं आई है और बिल माल डिस्पैच नहीं कर पाए तो बिल कैंसिल कर दिया। लेकिन 24 आवर्स हो गया, ई-वे बिल कैंसिल नहीं हो पाया। तो अभी क्या करना चाहिए ई-वे बिल के लिए? मुझे कहा, मैंने जो बिल बनाया तो वो तो कैंसिल कर दिया और उसका ई-वे बिल कैंसिल नहीं हो पा रहा है।
72 आवर्स हो गए क्या?
हाँ जी, हो गए सर।
72 भी हो गए?
हाँ, हो गए।
आपको इमीडिएटली सप्लायर को बोलना था ना, वो कैंसिल कर देता उसको ट्रांजैक्शन को।
लेकिन सप्लायर भी वो राजस्थान में है तो वहाँ पे तो
उसको टेलीफोन पे बोलते हैं, वो कैंसिल कर देता ना। नहीं,
सर
वो नहीं हो पाया आपका।
हाँ, अभी क्या करना चाहिए मुझे?
मटेरियल गया ही नहीं उस पे?
नहीं, मटेरियल गया नहीं है, और बिल तो मैंने कैंसिल कर दिया, मटेरियल हमारे वहाँ ही है, लेकिन ईवे बिल कैंसिल नहीं हो रहा है। तो उसका मुझे क्या करना चाहिए कि जैसे भविष्य में वो ऑफिसर सेशन है कि आपने माल बेच दिया है, ऐसे कुछ पेनल्टी वेनल्टी कैसे कुछ ना हो पाए, इसे क्या करना चाहिए अभी?
ओके, भविष्य में वो क्या करेगा?
वो ठीक है कि आपने ईवे बिल बनाया तो माल तो भेजा ही होगा, लेकिन आपने बिल कैंसिल किया, ऐसे भी बोल सकते हैं ना, कहा बिल तो मैंने कैंसिल कर दिया बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट पे, लेकिन ईवे बिल कैंसिल नहीं हो पा रहा है। 24
कोई बात नहीं, you obtain a certificate from the transporter, take a certificate कि मैं गाड़ी नहीं भेज पाया था और ये माल गया नहीं है इससे।
सर्टिफिकेट लेके यहाँ लोकल अथॉरिटी को,
आप लोकल अथॉरिटी को भी दे सकते हो, अपने रिकॉर्ड में भी रख सकते हो, और सेम काइंड ऑफ सर्टिफिकेट यू कैन टेक फ्रॉम द कंसाइनी ऑल्सो। टेलीफोन पे बात हुआ था, सब माल नहीं आया इस ईवे पे और इस इनवॉइस पे मैंने कोई ट्रांजैक्शन नहीं करा, राइट?
हाँ जी समझ गया सर।
कवर्ड विद ईवे, तो वो आपका रिकॉर्ड में आ जाएगा, फिर उससे कोई इशू नहीं आएगा।
लेकिन वो क्या है कि जीटीए नहीं है, लेकिन ये लोकल ट्रांसपोर्ट होती है ना हमारे यहाँ पे, लोकल ट्रांसपोर्ट में माल होता है, लोकल ट्रांसपोर्ट वाले के पास ले लेना।
नहीं, पॉइंट इज कि जब आपने ईवे बनाया था, ईवे बना लिया था ना आपने?
हाँ,
यू हैव जनरेटेड ईवे ना?
आपका आवाज ठीक से नहीं आ रहा है सर।
आपने ईवे जनरेट कर लिया था ना?
हाँ, ईवे जनरेट कर लिया था।
जनरेट किया था तो उसमें व्हीकल का डिटेल नहीं डाला था आपने?
नहीं, व्हीकल नहीं आया, इसीलिए माल नहीं भर पाए, कारण कि वो कोरोना वायरस हिसाब से पुलिस वाले ने व्हीकल को आने ही नहीं दिया हमारे वहां पे।
ओके, तो माल उसका इनवॉइस कहाँ का, राजस्थान का बना हुआ था?
हाँ, राजस्थान का बना हुआ था, और मैं गुजरात से, मेरा क्लाइंट गुजरात में था।
कौन सी डेट का है ये?
ये 4 दिन पहले का है, 4 डेज एगो।
तो कोई इशू ही नहीं है, इसी बात को लिख करके रख लो आप अपने पास,
लिख के रख दे,
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है इसमें।
हाँ जी सर, थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, Jay. Next is V&I Associates. Are you there?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
Continue, sir. Continue.
Hi, sir. Sir, if one person under is a dealer. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Just a minute. Okay. Yes. Tell me.
Sir, if one person is unregistered, he is transporting goods for one place. If a unregistered person,
yes,
transporting goods for his sales.
For his
value is more than 2 lakhs.
Okay.
Which documents he is needed to keep on his vehicles?
Sir, his question is movement of goods.
Can you repeat the question?
Sir, question is this: movement of goods is above 2 lakhs rupees. Which type of document are required to be attached with this movement of goods? This is the question.
Yeah, which are the documents needed to attach this? Because my that person is unregistered under GST.
Dealer is unregistered.
Yeah. He's an unregistered dealer because his annual turnover is below 40 lakhs. So he need not take to registration.
Right. But to whom he is supplying? Is he supplying to registered dealer?
Maybe registered or unregistered dealer.
No. Seller is unregistered, that is fine, no problem. Okay. But in case buyer is registered, then he is required to issue e-way. Okay.
But this case is he is road sale. You know that because there is no mention if a product is buying not 100% sure.
Okay. Then do not issue it. Do not issue it. You take the tax invoice or delivery challan, whatever you want, you can use it.
Sir, if I am an unregistered person, then how can I issue a tax invoice?
You issue the bill of supply, na? Bill of supply or delivery challan. I will advise everybody to use delivery challan in such cases.
In the vehicle.
In the vehicle, and you make a specific note on your bill of supply that my turnover is below 40 lakhs annually and I am not required to be registered under GST. To make a declaration on bill of supply itself so that no authority on the road is going to give problem for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Now there is a more 5 to 6 question. Is it comfortable to you, sir? Deepak ji?
For
Gandhi,
me,
sir?
it's comfortable. Okay, go ahead.
Please. Now next is Mr. Shiv Prakash from Bangalore. Mr. Shiv Prakash, are you there? Mr. Shiv Prakash, R. Shiva. Mr. Amit Gupta from Jammu.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, my question is regarding movement of goods within the state.
Yes.
I am residing in Jammu, and many of my clients are selling goods to Kashmir and Ladakh. So it is approximate distance is from Jammu to Srinagar is 300 kilometer. But during rainy season and winter season, due to snow, many times trucks get hold up in the way. It may take 6, 7, or 8 days, and driver is even not able to intimate the delay to the dealer. So the e-way bill expires during the time, and many times departments, state tax officers at Srinagar held up the truck, and we face many difficulties. What is the legal opinion regarding this and remedy?
You have to, first of all, you can extend, right? You can extend the
Sir, but
fine.
we don't know, na? Drivers are in the way and they are unable to communicate.
Okay, okay,
Due to rain, landslides. Because
So
we are not sure the goods they have reached Srinagar, because it will take only 1 day. But due to landslides and snow during winter and rainy season, they are held up in the way, and there is no mode of communications. Their mobiles also get discharged.
So
we are facing many problems.
Then we have to bring this difficulty before the authorities. So that should not be done, and that time
They
should
make
be.
many representation with the local commissioner.
You send it
And
across
they
to
said that
GST
the
Council.
GST is a.
You make
Okay,
your grievance on the GST Council portal instead of giving to the local authorities. They will understand it.
Mr. Gupta, we can raise this question on the platform of NSC also.
Yes, yes.
On this issue, we will discuss same issue maybe raised for South side also.
Yes.
So we will take care on this issue, Mr. Gupta.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now next is Mr. Prabhat Gupta. Mr. Prabhat, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Please continue.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन जरा सा ये है, इसके लिए एडवाइस कीजिए, जो कंपाउंडिंग डीलर है उसको अपनी गुड्स रिटर्न करनी है दूसरी स्टेट में, तो उसके लिए क्या डॉक्यूमेंट रिक्वायर्ड होंगे? अगर माल 50,000 रुपए से ऊपर जा रहा है और कंपाउंडिंग डीलर है रजिस्टर्ड, तो क्या उसको भी ई-वे बिल इशू करना पड़ेगा, या कौन कौन से डॉक्यूमेंट वो परचेज रिटर्न के लिए अपने माल के साथ में लगाएगा?
परचेज रिटर्न के लिए तो वो क्या माल के साथ में जो है भेजेगा, वो ई-वे तो उसे लगाना है, वो तो मूवमेंट ऑफ गुड्स के लिए मैंडेटरी है, राइट?
ठीक है सर, ठीक।
उसके साथ में वो डिलीवरी चलान पे लिखेगा कि मैं माल वापस भेज रहा हूँ।
अच्छा, क्या उसमें जीएसटी मेंशन करना पड़ेगा कि कितना उसमें सीजीएसटी या जीएसटी या आईजीएसटी बनता है?
डिलीवरी चलान में नहीं करना होता। नहीं नहीं
नहीं। हेलो हेलो
हेलो
हेलो, आवाज नहीं आ रही सर।
हेलो, अब आई?
जी अब आई है सर।
हाँ जी, बताइए।
मैं ये जानकारी करना चाह रहा था, डिलीवरी चालान में आईजीएसटी, सीजीएसटी, आईजीएसटी का मेंशन करना जरूरी है या नहीं है?
नहीं
नहीं
नहीं।
अच्छा, ये तो मैंने मालूम किया आपसे कंपाउंडिंग डीलर के लिए, और नॉन कंपाउंडिंग डीलर है वो अपने गुड्स रिटर्न करता है, तो वो क्या डॉक्यूमेंट लगाएगा? वो भी डिलीवरी चालान ही लगाएगा या कोई और अदर इनवॉइस लगाएगा?
वो जब वो माल वापस करेगा तो वो डेबिट नोट पे करेगा या डिलीवरी चलान पे करेगा, चॉइस है बिजनेसमैन की, ठीक है?
ओके ओके।
हाँ जी।
और माल जाता है ट्रांसपोर्टर के थ्रू?
हाँ जी।
और ट्रांसपोर्टर के यहाँ गाड़ी अवेलेबल होने की बात होती है कि किस दिन गाड़ी अवेलेबल होगी, ये 7-8 दिन भी ले सकता है, उसी दिन भी जा सकता है, 2-3 दिन बाद भी जा सकता है, तो ई-वे बिल कैसे जनरेट होगा इसमें?
ई-वे बिल तो आप जब जनरेट करोगे ना, जब माल लदान होगा।
हमको पता नहीं होता, ट्रांसपोर्टर अपनी मर्जी से जब गाड़ी उसको मिलती है तब भेजता है। ये पैडी ट्रांसपोर्टर पैडी गुड्स भेजते हैं ट्रांसपोर्टर्स,
हाँ
जब
जी।
उनको गाड़ी अवेलेबल होती है उस साइड की तभी वो माल को भेजते हैं, तो हमको पता नहीं लग पाता है कि कब माल भेजेगा वो।
उसी के लिए तो पार्ट भी भरता है वो।
ओके ओके सर, थैंक यू।
हाँ जी।
Mr. Tushar Singhal. Mr. Tushar,
Yes, I am here.
please continue.
Hello.
हेलो,
गांधी साहब, गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग जी।
सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आई एम इन देहरादून
ओके।
और हल्द्वानी, दैट इज आल्सो इन उत्तराखंड। वर्क कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मिला था पार्टी को, तो बीच में यूपी आता है।
यस।
तो उन्होंने इस इंप्रेशन में कि वर्क कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज सर्विसेज, उन्होंने ईवे बिल जनरेट नहीं करा था, यूपी में हमारी गाड़ी पकड़ ली थी।
ओके।
तो हम भी फाइल एप्लीकेशन अपील हमने वहीं पे फाइल करी थी, वो रिजेक्ट हो गई है।
ओके।
तो उस वक्त हमारे देहरादून में भी नहीं ले रहे थे, उन्होंने मना कर दिया था। ऑनलाइन अपील उस वक्त हो नहीं रही थी, तो मजबूरी हमें मैनुअली वहां पे फाइल करनी पड़ी थी।
जी।
अगर ऑनलाइन होती तो शायद हम देहरादून में ही फाइल करना प्रेफर करते। तो आपके हिसाब से कहाँ पे इसकी अपील फाइल होनी चाहिए थी? यूपी में ही होनी चाहिए?
वेयर मनी वाज डिपॉजिटेड?
मनी वाज डिपॉजिटेड इन यूपी।
यूपी में जिस ऑफिसर ने करी थी, जिस डिस्ट्रिक्ट में हुई थी,
जी।
उसी में आपको अपील करनी है।
अच्छा, वहां से हमारी रिजेक्ट हो गई है, तो क्या हम यूपी इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट जाएंगे या
नहीं।
अपना उत्तराखंड हाई कोर्ट?
अभी आप हाई कोर्ट जा ही नहीं सकते, आपको तो ट्रिब्यूनल जाना पड़ेगा ना।
हाँ, ट्रिब्यूनल जाना पड़ेगा। अभी ट्रिब्यूनल तो बना नहीं है।
तो आपके पास दो ऑप्शन है, या तो आप ट्रिब्यूनल की बनने की वेट करिए, आपकी लिमिटेशन मिल जाएगी उसमें। ठीक
सर,
है।
हमें वो यूपी ट्रिब्यूनल में ही जाना पड़ेगा?
जी हाँ।
अच्छा, ये उत्तराखंड हाई कोर्ट में लाई नहीं करेगा?
नहीं जी।
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच। थैंक यू।
Thank you. Now, Mr. Aman Diora. Mr. Aman, are you there?
जी
Mr.
सर।
Aman,
हाँ जी सर,
please
मेरी आवाज आ रही है सर? आप
हाँ, आवाज आ रही है। आपका माइक्रोफोन थोड़ा सेट कीजिएगा।
हाँ जी सॉरी।
प्लीज कंटिन्यू।
ऐसा है सर, आ रही है आवाज आवाज मेरी?
यस, आ रही।
सर ऐसा है, गुड इवनिंग गांधी जी।
गुड इवनिंग।
ऐसा है सर, मेरा एक डीलर है वर्क कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, जो कि रेलवे यहाँ नॉर्दर्न रेलवे का हेड ऑफिस है फिरोजपुर में।
हाँ जी।
तो यहाँ से ऑर्डर ऑब्टेन करता है और गुड सप्लाई करता है जम्मू साइड।
हाँ
क्योंकि
जी।
रेलवे नॉर्दर्न रेलवे का जो ऑफिस है ना, ये जम्मू तक काम करता है। तो
जी।
बिल जो है, बिल प्रिपेयर्ड इन द नेम ऑफ अ सीनियर डिविजनल फाइनेंस मैनेजर,
ओके।
और पेमेंट्स भी यहीं से डिसबर्स होती हैं, सीनियर डिविजनल फाइनेंस मैनेजर फिरोजपुर डिवीजन।
ठीक है जी।
लेकिन गुड्स जो होती हैं वहाँ पे यूज होती हैं, वो यूटिलाइज होती है वो जम्मू में या कहीं और होती हैं, और गुड्स आती हैं कलकत्ता से, गुजरात से।
ठीक है।
तो इस केस में क्या पोजीशन बनेगी जी?
क्या आपका प्रॉब्लम क्या, ईवे कैसे जनरेट होगा?
हाँ, ईवे बिल और उसकी टैक्सेबिलिटी, आईजीएसटी लगेगा, सीजीएसटी लगेगा, कैसे चलेगा?
आप
बिल
कहाँ पे
सबमिट
भेज दो?
बिल सबमिट पंजाब में होता है, पंजाब में रजिस्टर्ड है बंदा।
अच्छा।
बंदा रजिस्टर्ड भी पंजाब में है, बिल सबमिट भी पंजाब में होता है, लेकिन
ठीक
जो
है।
गुड्स है वो सीधी अहमदाबाद से, सीधी कलकत्ता से वहां जाती है जम्मू, बेसिकली
ओके।
जम्मू उधमपुर या इधर इस साइड। क्योंकि रेलवे है, रेलवे का जो है नेटवर्क, नॉर्दर्न रेलवे फिरोजपुर का नेटवर्क है, वो जम्मू उधमपुर तक है।
राइट। जम्मू में जो रेलवे का जो रेसिपेंट पार्टी है, आर दे रजिस्टर्ड अंडर जम्मू जीएसटी और नॉट?
रेसिपेंट तो यही हो गया ना, सीनियर डिविजनल फाइनेंस मैनेजर फिरोजपुर वाला।
अगर
इसका
वो
जो
रेसिपेंट हो गया तो वेयर इज द प्रॉब्लम देन?
तो ईवे बिल या टैक्सेबिलिटी आईजीएसटी चार्ज करें या
दोनों में
CGST?
फर्क है ना। आप ईवे पूछ रहे हो या टैक्सेबिलिटी पूछ रहे हो? बोथ आर डिफरेंट।
दोनों चीजें पूछो।
ईवे इज फॉर मूवमेंट ऑफ गुड्स। ओके।
ठीक है जी, ठीक है जी।
ये तो आपको एक माल को पहुंचाने का तरीका है कि आप कलकत्ता वाले को बोलेंगे कि ये बिल टू इनको कर दीजिए और शिप टू जम्मू कर दीजिए, राइट?
ठीक है जी,
तो
बिल्कुल
आपका माल पहुंच गया, कोई इशू ही नहीं है।
ठीक है जी। और
ओके।
चार्जेबिलिटी?
अब मैं आ रहा हूँ, वहीं पे आ रहा हूँ ना।
हाँ जी,
जो कलकत्ता वाला है वो आपको बिल करेगा।
ठीक है जी,
यू आर इन पंजाब।
ठीक है जी,
ठीक है, वो आईजीएसटी लगाएगा।
ठीक है।
आप बिल किसे करोगे? टैक्स इनवॉइस किसके नाम बनाओगे आप? पंजाब
सीनियर डिविजनल
रेलवे के
फाइनेंस
नाम।
मैनेजर। हाँ जी,
ठीक है, तो व्हाट यू विल बी डूइंग? यू विल बी डूइंग सीजीएसटी, एसजीएसटी।
ठीक है। नॉर्मल
ओके। बिकॉज आप जिसको बिल कर रहे हो, हेलो, गेटिंग मी?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
So then you have to bill him.
आई थिंक उनके वो सुन पाते हैं लेकिन उनका माइक्रोफोन में प्रॉब्लम है।
हाँ जी, आई थिंक निकम भाई हो गया।
हाँ
सुन भी लिया, ठीक है।
राइट,
ओके, थैंक यू।
अमन जी क्लियर है?
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
ओके
सर, मिस्टर जयेश,
यस,
हाँ पहले तो आपका माइक्रोफोन सेट कीजिए, पीछे आवाज आ रहा है सर।
मेरे आसपास कोई नहीं है इसलिए आवाज आने की संभावना कम है। निगम जी,
सॉरी सर, प्लीज कंटिन्यू सर।
या मेरा क्लाइंट है अहमदाबाद में और गवर्नमेंट जो जीबी है उसका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है और उसको इलेक्ट्रिकल गुड्स बेचना है और उसकी वैल्यू 50,000 से ज्यादा है, पर उसके जीएसटी रिटर्न 2 महीने से ज्यादा के पेंडिंग है, तो ही कैन जनरेट द ईवे बिल और नॉट टू जनरेट।
दोबारा से बताएं।
गांधी साहब, वेरी गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग।
मेरा क्लाइंट है, वो इलेक्ट्रिकल गुड्स सप्लाई करता है और गवर्नमेंट के जो जीबी कंपनी है उसको वो माल बेचता है
जी।
अभी उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस की वजह से कुछ फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस है कुछ है, तो उसकी वजह से उसके 2 से 3 रिटर्न जीएसटी के पेंडिंग है।
हाँ जी।
अभी उसको माल भेजना जरूरी है, ड्यू टू लॉकडाउन भी उनको इमरजेंसी में माल भेजना पड़ता है, तो उसको ईवे बिल जनरेट करना है, तो हाउ वी विल बी सपोर्ट हिम?
You can use the e-way till it is blocked by the officer.
सॉरी,
थोड़ी किया ऑफिसर ने।
ऑफिसर ने ये तो ये ऑनलाइन में जब जनरेट करने जाते हैं योर यू कैन नॉट अनेबल टू जनरेट द ईवे बिल, ये मैसेज आ जाता है।
3 returns.
या
Okay. So can you make the bill invoice for smaller amount?
But it's a big amount transformer or like some cables which value is high.
How much is the value?
Value nearest to 1 lakh.
तो 1 lakh है ना, तो आप 40,000 ना bill.
Okay.
You make 3 challans basically, not invoice.
Hmm.
You make 3 challans of 40,000, 40,000 and 20,000 and send the goods. And after that,
In a one.
tax invoice.
Okay.
Without eBay, it will go.
Okay.
That is the solution we can give. That is a practical
solution. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Gandhi sir.
Thank you.
And thanks a lot, Mr. Nigam bhai,
Thank you,
to give me this opportunity, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one last question, sir, please. Mr. Paras Verma. Mr. Paras Verma, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, please continue. This would be last question, please.
Yes, sir. गांधी जी, सर मेरे एक क्वेरी है, जैसे जो पार्टी है, it is a registered party and receiving goods from unregistered person, and that unregistered person is delivering the goods in the premises of a registered person. Now, what is the position of eBay in that case? Because the movement is bear by the unregistered person. Sir,
hello. Hello, can you repeat the question?
I'm audible, sir.
Yes, you are audible. Please repeat
yes,
question,
sir, yes,
Mr. Paras.
Yes, sir. Sir, when the registered person is receiving the goods from unregistered person and unregistered person is delivering the goods in the premises of registered party, and that registered dealer is required to generate e-way bill of inward movement, because the movement is ultimately bear by the unregistered person.
The movement is caused by the unregistered. Now, who is the recipient?
The recipient is the registered.
I think there is some technical issue. Gandhi sir, can you hear me?
From which he is purchasing the goods is also registered. But due to certain situation, both parties are registered. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, Nigam bhai.
बिल्कुल सर, one last question sir, please. Mr. R. Prakash.
Nigam, some Anil Vajpayee is chatting again and again. He's saying allow him one question.
Actually, he is 1 minute, sir.
Huh?
1 minute, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Anil
Yes,
Anil
sir.
Vajpayee, please continue, sir.
Sir, thank you giving another opportunity. सर क्वेश्चन मेरे ये था कि मेरी गाड़ी सीज हो गई थी जिस समय जीएसटी लगा हुआ था, तो कोई पर्टिकुलर सर्कुलर वगैरह सही नहीं थी। यहाँ यूपी में एक कमिश्नर के द्वारा सर्कुलर जारी किया गया था जिसमें उन्होंने ये लिखा था कि जो भी गाड़ी पकड़ी जाए। सर मेरी आवाज आ रही है ना?
हाँ, प्लीज।
तो उन्होंने सर यूपी में उन्होंने सर्कुलर जारी किया था कमिश्नर ने कि जो भी गाड़ी पकड़ी जाए उसमें फुल अमाउंट जो है वो पेनाल्टी जमा कराया जाए। तो जब गाड़ी मेरी पकड़ी गई उस समय उन्होंने पूरा अमाउंट पेनाल्टी पे 100% पेनाल्टी पे जमा करा लिया। जबकि 20 तो ऐसी स्थिति में अब जब मेरी अपील हुई तो अपील हम जीत गए और हमने जब रिफंड अप्लाई किया अपना, तो अधिकारी ये कह रहे हैं कि अपील के ऑर्डर पे उन्होंने टैक्स पेनाल्टी वापस करने के लिए बोला है और आपका पूरा जो है टैक्स जमा नहीं है, केवल पेनाल्टी पे पूरा अमाउंट 100%।
Vajpayee, can you send the order of appeal to me and that commissioner order on mail? I will advise you accordingly. Okay. Hello.
Sure, sir. On this aspect, right now is disconnected, but I'll take care for this. I will communicate with him.
Okay.
मैं आपको बिल्कुल उसका पूरा इंफॉर्मेशन आपको प्रोवाइड करूंगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। काफी कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन सभी क्लाइंट को और सभी मेंबर को मिली हुई है। नाउ अनदर मेंबर इज फ्रॉम I am very much thankful to all the members from all the various part of the country. एंड सर आप फिर से भी अभी अगर फ्यूचर में हमको ज़रूरत पड़े तो आप और कोई सब्जेक्ट में हमको हेल्प करेंगे विद दिस एक्सपेक्टेशन। वंस अगेन वी आर वेरी मच थैंकफुल टू यू सर एंड वी आर हाईली ऑब्लाइज्ड।